Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Journey to AI session. My name is Steve Astorino. I'm the Vice President of Development for Data and AI, also the Canada Lab Director for IBM. Welcome, and today we're going to be talking about how to overcome some of the challenges of turning artificial intelligence into actual outcomes. So let's get started. Data is what fuels our digital transformation. You've heard us talk about data quite often. Data is actually described as the world's next natural resource. Yet only 15% of businesses get the value they need from their data. Obviously, this is a huge challenge. Also, 80% of data is locked in silos or not business ready. This makes it very difficult for businesses to make the right business decisions when they're looking at data to drive their business forward. What you see here is what we call the maturity curve. And we've been observing this for many, many years. But if you look at the left, this is the initial step was really about cost reduction and how to operationalize some of the processes so that we could reduce cost in our businesses. As we evolved over time, we went to a phase called modernization. This was business intelligence and data warehousing. A lot of our clients are still here today, evolving into new things, but this is still a very big part of what we do day to day. As you move forward to the right, we want to get more into an insight-driven organization or phase where clients and users can do their own self-service analytics. And you can imagine if I can do that as a user, now I have access to a lot more insight that I can make better decisions with, right? But the end goal is really to get to a transformation phase where we're using artificial intelligence to drive new business models or new business applications that are disruptive to us as well as to our competitors. So this is really how we want to be able to get to that end state where we can monetize on artificial intelligence. MIT Sloan, a study from them shows that 64% of us and our clients are right in the middle of this curve right now. And some of us have already moved to the insight-driven and transformation phase, but we still got quite a bit of work to do for all of us to get there. 90% plan greater investments of data from a study from Forrester. So this is really good news, obviously, because again, data is one of the key ingredients for anything that we do, including AI. So it's very good news to see that customers are investing into this space and they're seeing data as a key investment. MIT Sloan says 85% view AI as a strategic priority. That's also good news because that's really where the next disruption phase is going to come from, is from artificial intelligence and doing things in a different way with AI. So also very excited about that. At the end of the day, though, artificial intelligence is not magic. I know many people actually believe that that's true. There's a lot of fear around AI, but AI is actually not magic. It's just yet another tool that allows us to do things differently and more efficiently, and to be able to, yes, predict some of the things that would happen, but it's still a tool that we have to work with to make sure that we get to that end state, right? 51% are still stuck in experimentation phase, which is a huge problem, which means we've played with it, but we don't really know what to do with it, or we don't really know how to get into a production state. So what I find, there are three key things that are driving that progress or the slow progress there. One is data itself. So some studies from Forrester here show that 60% are challenged in managing data quality. And everything we just talked about, data being a key ingredient and not being able to access it properly, not being clean, that's a huge problem. And that's what this is referring to, right? The second one is skills and talent. So 62% are challenged to acquire talent and skills. And this is a real problem. We have a huge shortage of data scientists right now. And this is what's contributing or preventing us from getting to where we need to go with artificial intelligence. And the third one is really skepticism and trust of artificial intelligence. And 62% need an approach to AI production readiness that currently they don't have. But trust for these systems, if you look at things like bias, for example, right? There's many claims that models are biased. But when you look at bias, it's actually introduced by the data, and the data is actually created by humans. So we're actually the ones that are introducing and creating bias into these models. In fact, the tool sets that we have built for artificial intelligence are helping us detect those biases so that we can actually remove them automatically from them. So as humans, we have not successfully been able to do that, but the tools are helping us to get there. At the end of the day, there's no artificial intelligence without information architecture. And what do we mean by that? The ability to essentially access the data in a correct way, end to end, is really what we define as an information architecture. There's no amount of artificial intelligence algorithmic sophistication that will overcome a lack of data architecture. So we can have all the algorithms we want, but if we don't have the right data architecture, we'll never be able to leverage the data in the right way. 81% do not understand the data needed for AI. That's a huge problem in itself. But on a more positive, AI pioneers are 8 times more likely to have a robust data architecture. So let's get into what we have defined as IBM as the AI ladder. And this is really what the secret sauce in modernizing your applications or your environment, right? It always starts with data. So if we go from the bottom up in this ladder, right, the collect phase is the first phase that is required to be able to make data accessible for anything that you need to do. This is not just making a connection to a database. This is a collection of data that sits potentially in many different systems. So this is a critical component. Once we have access to the data, is really be able to organize it, right? Be able to manage that data quality, policies and governance around that data integration. All of that is critical to make sure the data is ready to be able to analyze it, right? Which is then the next step above that is at the analyze phase is where you really build your models, your intelligence, your insight that now you can gather from the data that you've accessed and managed below, right? And then the final step is, okay, I've built these models now, I've built this insight, what do I do with it? The next step is really, I wanna infuse it into the applications that I'm building, either ready applications or applications that I'm customizing. And that's the infuse stage. Once we're there, then we're at a point where we now can put these things into production. So that's what the AI ladder is all about. So let me go into a little bit more detail on some of these. At the end of the day, we want to modernize our systems. So here's an example from Sprint, who's sped up their digital transformation by leveraging AI, turning things into microservice architecture, and then providing a better experience for their customer. And they leverage what we call Cloud Pak for Data, which is one of our key solutions that is driving this modernization, this transformation, and it's built on the AI ladder that I talked about and provides all the capabilities needed. So it's open and extensible. It is a microservice cloud native architecture with data and AI services that can run on any cloud. It provides the AI lifecycle management to be able to manage the entire lifecycle of data all the way to infusing AI into applications. Virtualization of data, right? We talked about before about data access, being able to virtualize data in such a way that it's easily accessible to be able to build insight is part of the Cloud Pak for Data solution. Integrating governance and then scale on demand as needed as your requirements are changing. So this is the tool set that allows the modernization of your applications. So let's go to the collect phase in a little bit more detail. We talked about that. So Marriott, for example, had a very complex environment, disparate sources everywhere, and they used our collect phase of Cloud Pak for Data to be able to bring data together in this very complex environment so that they can build insight on top of it. Our collect phase is powered by our DB2 family. This does not mean that it's only DB2 products, and I'll talk about that in a second. But our DB2 family is our data collect phase. It's powering what we need to do here. There's a common SQL engine. What does this really mean? I don't have to change my SQL every time I want to go from private on-prem to public cloud or hybrid cloud on any cloud appliance, you name it. All the solutions have a common SQL engine consistency, so you don't have to change your application as you're moving from one to the other. Data warehousing built right into the solution inside Cloud Pak for Data. Real-time data ingestion, and I can also do analytics and AI as the data is being ingested during the ingest phase. at very, very high speeds. We can work with structured, semi-structured, unstructured data. It's optimized for artificial intelligence with technologies like Graph. We have Python, right, built in, machine learning, SQL, confidence-based query, again, powered by AI, and the list goes on. And also we work with open source databases. So MongoDB, Cloudera, Postgres, Cloudant, Parquet, and there's more coming, all run within the platform. So it's very powerful. Data is, we used to say to clients, you need to move your data. Now what we're saying is you don't need to move it. You can leave it where it is. You can virtualize it, or you can run it on some of these open source technologies or a DB2 Common SQL engine, and it all kind of brings the data together for insights. So that's a collect phase. The next one is organize. Another example here at New Jersey courts. Again, they leverage AI to basically build real-time predictive criminal risk profiling. Lots of data, 400 million plus records, 200 core systems. They brought in social media. And this is how you can see all the data coming together so that you can organize it in such a way that now you can make sense out of it, right? So things like cataloging, building data pipelines, governance and lineage, which is very critical for enterprise companies and being able to build enterprise technologies, governance data lakes, right? With persona-based experience. So depending on who the persona accessing that data, that data lake, you have a different view on what needs to be done. Business-ready views, 360 views of the data that are ready for a business user to consume. But also more importantly, or most importantly, things like data privacy, policy, and compliance control, which are very critical for the large enterprises. All of this at the organized level is powered by our technology in the InfoSphere family tool set, as well as Watson Knowledge Catalog, which drives this capability here. All right, the next one is the analyze stage. And this is really where we build the insights, right? Another example here of a client that worked with us, JP Morgan Chase. How are they using Cloud Pak for Data to build the machine learning models here, the AI models needed essentially to do better trading, provide better trading capability and fraud detection, which is very common for financial institutions. But what we do here is we provide the capability to build, you run, you manage your machine learning models, model development, lifecycle, and deployment. So you can actually put things into production here. We provide predictive and prescriptive analytics. It's built on open source frameworks and technologies. So we didn't build everything from scratch. We actually leverage a lot of the open source tool sets that exist out there. And we've integrated with our own research and technology and providing the best of both worlds. Trust with built-in explainability. I talked about the bias detection before. Right in the tool set, the tool can detect bias more effectively than actually humans can based on the data set that's fed in. And this provides the capability right into the tool, and you can actually fix it right through the tool automatically, which is a huge advantage in the tool set. But also improve on AI model accuracy, performance, and quality as data changes, as your models need to evolve, and provide that capability right built into the tool. So that's the analyze phase. And the final phase is really, how do we bring this infuse it into a production environment, infuse it into an existing application, or leverage a pre-built application that uses AI built in. In this case, a client called Credit Mutual basically provided a better experience for their advisors with their clients and improved efficiency significantly by leveraging artificial intelligence. Things like time to value is very critical, obviously. So with things like pre-built applications that we can provide, there are artificial intelligence assisted business intelligence, BI, or data visualizations, forecasting and budgeting, knowledge and work productivity. Then there's trust and transparency, which I talked about. So it's built right into the tool that allows us to do that. And then really provide the capability to build industry vertical models that will drive your business forward. Obviously, every client is a different industry, and being able to provide that capability is very beneficial. All right, so let's go to the next step. And I want to talk about here, let me just show all of this. But this is our Cloud Pak for Data architecture really, and that I've talked about. And if you start from the bottom again, it shows how it can run on any cloud. So that's one of our key value proposition. If you heard in the news, we bought the Red Hat company last year, and everything that we're doing right now is based on OpenShift, and Cloud Pak for Data runs right on OpenShift, and that's what gives us the ability to essentially run on any of those clouds. Where it's again built and powered by our DB2 family that I talked about, as well as our InfoSphere family of products for data operations and governance. And when I look at the Watson tool set, able to prepare the data with Watson Knowledge Catalog, you build your AI models with Watson Studio, you deploy and run your models with Watson Machine Learning, and you manage your models, including bias detection, performance, and things like that with Watson OpenScale. And then there's a set of built-in use cases, or what we call Watson applications, that are ready to go and leverage and deploy in your environments. So that is what the Cloud Pak for Data leveraging the AI ladder is all about. All right, the one thing I also wanted to mention about Watson itself, I mean, we provide a lot of the capability for artificial intelligence. Watson APIs are open, available anywhere on any cloud, on-prem, on private cloud, Cloud Pak for Data, to be able to build your own applications. Speech and language, tone and visual recognition, empathy and personality, behavioral insights, and conversation as well. With the technologies that you see here on the right. Just a couple more examples. I'm not going to go through all of these, but we've worked with thousands of clients to help them leverage artificial intelligence, machine learning to improve their businesses. So Royal Bank of Scotland, for example, achieved a 40% call deflection rate with their virtual agents. A company like Lufthansa, for example, AI-powered engagement. Autoglass, visualize, categorize damage, and instantly issue a quote. So you can see how these services are transformational on how each of these businesses does their job on a day-to-day, and you can see how it helps them keep an edge into their business and then eventually beat their competition. So there's, like I said, thousands of these clients we work with. These are just a few subset of that. The other thing that I want to mention that I think we're very proud of, these are Forrester Wave and Forrester New Wave assessments. IBM is #1 in each one of these categories. I am not going to go through them all, but it's really cool. You can see that we're leading in this market, we're leading this space. We started early, and it's not just about the providing algorithms. I think I mentioned this before, but it's really about how to provide the end-to-end tool set, information architecture, to be able to do the whole life cycle management end-to-end, from data access all the way to infusing AI into your production environment. IDC also named us #1 in the AI market space. We're very proud of that. And we've also won many, many awards with things like Red Dot Design Awards for our experience. We do everything with design first methodology. We're very proud of that. And it shows in the response that we're getting from the market as well as our customers. So very excited about this slide. So how do you engage with us? There's multiple ways of engaging with us. Workshops, obviously there are workshop complementary to our workshops that we can do to kind of take you through what I just talked about here today. There's what we call data science elite engagement, where it's a 4 to 6 week free engagement to you that we can work on actual business problem and help build out an AI prototype with you directly. There's Cloud Pak for Data Experience, which is an online experience, but takes about 20 minutes guided journey that you can go and take. There's our Global Elite Academy that is tailored essentially to you. It's a 2-day, could be on-site event where we come in and we work with you on and educate on A, technology, B, on the tool set, or even brainstorm on some of the business problems that you want to solve. And one more is IBM Garage, when you can actually come in and we can co-create what we call business outcomes, or work on a problem together where we can actually help build out that solution. So there's many, many ways to engage with us, as you can see. But call to action, what I will encourage you is to learn more. You can register here at this link, the IBM.com events think link that you have here below. I encourage you all to go and register there, and really call us, right? The easiest thing you can do is call us directly and contact Vaira Baidiani, and she can help guide you in the right direction. Thank you very much. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me directly as well. And thank you again.